Okay, we are recording.
Okay.
My name is Mandy Thompson. I teach third grade.
Hello, my name is Janila English. I teach fifth grade,
It's nice
and
to meet
I'm also, oh, nice to meet you. And I'm
you.
also going to be your quote unquote instructional coach for this project.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for, helping me and taking the time to meet with me today. I'm definitely struggling with a couple of things, so I look forward to seeing, what we can come up with and solutions that we can find to my problems.
Great, because I definitely feel like with the way I want to go about coaching is I'm very much for teamwork and us working together and us bouncing ideas off of each other instead of me just trying to say, let's do this, let's do that. Because you
Well,
know more about your classroom and your students than I do.
right. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. It's important to me as well that we are working together because two minds are definitely better than one. So
Yes.
I'll just kind of start off by telling you, what my struggle is in particular, just so that way we're both on the same page. So this is my first year as an inclusion teacher. So this is my first time ever having a co-teacher.
Hmm.
My co-teacher pushed my class for reading, but she pulls out for writing. She also pushes in for math. She doesn't pull out for math. So the only time she ever pulls out is writing. So that's when she's taking four of my students with her to her own classroom.
Okay.
Um, she's been a co-teacher before, though. She was in fifth grade before she came to my class, which I feel like is important to know that she has done inclusion before, that, she at least has a little bit of background. It's just me that really doesn't.
Hmm.
So what I have found hard, though, is, like we're not really on the same page. And I think this could come from the fact that she doesn't seem to share her plans with me. I'm not sure if she's taking the plans that I have with my team and copying it to her own, which she could be. I want to give her the benefit of the doubt that she is doing that. Um, but as of right now, I'm thinking that she's not, just because of some of the work that I have seen my students doing in her class. It's not, I would just say it's not up to my expectation. And so I have a feeling that, she's either not modifying my lesson plans or she's not looking at the lesson plans. So I'm just not exactly sure, what I can be doing to make sure that we're on the same page, because, that's just super important. We have the same students, and I just want to make sure we both have the same mindset and idea of what we want our students to be doing when they're in her classroom.
Wow. Okay, so there's a lot we need to peel back, like the layers of an onion. The first thing that stuck out to me was hearing about the quality of work not matching up. So what you're doing is not being implemented or somewhat similar to the work that she's doing with the inclusion students. And that's
Right.
one thing we need to work together, because while their work might not be carbon copy, it should be somewhat similar if we're following the same plan. So my
Yeah.
question to you is, first, are you, let's see, does are you able to evidently see any modifications being made to those lesson plans, or you don't have access to anything?
I have no access to her plans whatsoever. So,
Okay.
I have asked at the beginning of the year, are you going to share your lesson plans with me? And it's not that she was a direct no, like I can't do that. She just seemed very weary of doing that. So I've kind of dropped it ever since then, because I didn't want to create, like any type of tension between us of
Of
why does she
course.
need me to share her lesson, so it's been a little bit of a rocky road.
Okay, well, I'm definitely going to write that down, because when we meet up again, I want us to both go back and try to think of some things, but I'm going to do some groundwork because I definitely think it's important for the main teacher of record to have access to the inclusion teacher's plans.
Right.
Because overall, I think communication is the biggest part when you're collaborating with someone else.
Hmm.
And you deserve to have access to those materials because those are still your students. And
Hmm.
technically, if you go down chain of command, you're majority in charge and
Yeah.
should have a larger say in what the students are learning. So we
Yeah.
definitely need to get that fixed. Also, I would like if you could share maybe a few student work examples with me so I can look at
Sure.
them, because what I'm thinking about is we could talk on it a little bit more, but if we don't want to become like accusatory or a bit defensive, because communicating that to her, it seems like it makes you uncomfortable, which we
It
don't want you to
does.
be.
Mhm.
Maybe if we show her some kind of evidence-based approach, we can show her like we're not trying to be accusatory, but this is the evidence to show you that their student work is different. This is what happens when I work with little Johnny. This is what happens when you work with him. And
Mhm.
I just want us to find a solution together where we can continuously produce that quality level of work. That
Right.
way we feel like, okay, she's not the problem. Let's just work together and make a solution. So she
Yeah.
can not build up that wall. So
Yeah.
I can definitely try to find some more approaches and methods, but I would like for you to definitely share that evidence with me. And if
Okay.
you have any ideas yourself, you can bring that to me and we can bounce ideas off of each other.
Yeah, one thing as you've been talking that I think I would really like for us to do in our next session is to come
Uh-huh.
up with a list of expectations
Oh,
that we can have between myself and my co-teachers. So that way, because right now I feel like we have none. It's a very dull line of what our expectations are for not only mine for her, but hers for me. And so maybe we can, together create a list of things that I can share with her of what I would like for her to be doing or that I can be doing for her. And so that way, when I do approach her as well, that can be like part of our solution that I'm bringing to her, if that makes sense. I don't want to, not have a solution, kind of like what you were saying. I want to make sure it's clear.
yes. So if we can definitely work on solution based, then I think this would be a step in the right direction. But then also another thing that I want us to work on is what struck me was, again, not having access to those plans. I feel like if we open that window up as well for you to regain or gain access to those plans, then we can figure out what some of the gaps might be or even
Hmm.
help to have a more solid solution. Again, we
Hmm.
could add that to the expectations plan you were talking
Yes.
about. You
Yes.
have access to my plans, I have access to your plans.
Yes. I think that's a great idea.
So add that to expectations list. And I'm going to write this down so we can share this on a doc. So while you're trying this, you can always refer back to it. It'll
Okay.
also remind me what I need to do some more research on.
Okay. That sounds great. Yeah. I just know that's one thing that we can do next time that we meet that would definitely help me. Because, like you said, it's hard enough for me to have the confidence to approach her with, any, problems that we might be having. But I feel like if I came in with some specific things that might help us, then I think that would help me feel more confident in myself.
Yes, because from what I hear, I feel like you're on target because you're in the right place. You're not only caring about your gen ed students, but you're caring about the quality of work from your inclusion students. So I can
Mhm.
tell that your heart's in the right place and you're just trying to get that quality growth. I feel like the
Yes.
inclusion teacher will see that too. We just have to approach it a little bit differently so we can actually get progress and not
Yes.
take two steps back.
Yes.
So I most definitely want us to meet up again. I will have some approaches, some methods in mind. Were there any other questions or concerns that you may have that we want to discuss later on?
As sorry, my dogs are fighting under me.
Oh, you're fine.
As of right now, as of right now, no. Maybe trying to troubleshoot some ideas of when I can meet with her myself, like one on one, trying to find
Mhm.
times in our busy schedule to do that because we are both getting our masters right now. She's getting hers in counseling, and I'm getting mine in curriculum and instruction. So, I would like to be able to find time,
To
to
meet up.
have some kind of a couple of different ideas that I can also present to her about that to see if any of those times of when we can meet one on one, because I think that would help with our planning as well.
Okay. So we most definitely can talk about that. So on my radar, on my list is we have creating a list of expectations. So that way
Mhm.
your co-teacher knows what you're expecting and you can also hear from her point of view. That might also
Mhm.
help with the defensiveness if you're both meeting in the middle, finding time where you can meet up. Maybe
Mhm.
also adding that time to your expectations list so you both know these are the times where you're going to collaborate.
Yes.
And having access to those lesson plans is also going to be on our list.
Yes.
Okay, so when we meet up again, hopefully I can come with some more ideas. And if you have any of your own, that we can build up this solutions case.
Okay, that would be
Yes, and I'm excited to see that evidence, that student work, just so I
yes.
can look at it myself. Because if it's clearly evident that there's a growth, I don't even think she could deny, okay,
Yeah.
I need to make some changes.
Okay.
So,
I'll send that to you so you can see that.
okay, well, it was nice meeting with you. I don't want you to get stressed out about this. We
Oh,
will find a solution.
okay. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
All right, it was nice meeting with you.
You too.
Okay.